You're the guy, you're the reason I'm here, the reason I took a car here at 5 a.m. to be here, and thank you for having me in your show, the work you do in the community. You're amazing, so thank you for being a gateway for me and Stuart to get to know each other and have me here. Michael, please take the floor, it's all yours.
Well, thank you for that lead-in, Ramon. Thank you for coming. Stuart, thank you for creating this event. It's phenomenal. Also, thank you for putting me next to a commercial real estate attorney. We'll talk later. But in any event, my name is Mike Haltman. I'm the owner, along with my wife, Linda, who's in the audience, of Hallmark Abstract Service. We provide title insurance for residential and commercial real estate transactions in New York. And before your eyes glaze over about title insurance, it is one of the most important parts of your purchase. It's protecting you from anything going wrong. It protects your home ownership rights. But that being said, the purpose of this is to get ideas on how to grow my business. So like a lot of people on this panel, we are kind of considered to be a commodity business. People consider title insurance the same no matter who you get it. The buyer is the purchaser of the property, but the decision maker is typically the real estate attorney, whether that's right or wrong. And my job as the business development end of the business is to grow our penetration into attorneys. And we are great at what we do, as are a lot of people. We differentiate ourselves in different ways, and a lot of people consider it to be, you know, title insurance, you get a policy at the closing, but there are differences. You know, your title bill, the fees could be different. Your the claims experience of the company you use, you should find out what that is. The underwriter, does the company have an affiliated business relationship? Because that can create a conflict of interest. Those are all important things for the consumer to know. Unfortunately, the consumer doesn't really know because the attorney takes care of it. And sometimes the attorney just goes with who they're comfortable with, which I understand. What we do at my company to grow our footprint in terms of branding, we write, we have LinkedIn Live, we use social media, we try and get on interview shows. Podcasting is a great idea. I should probably do that, but really it's my question, and I'm not going to go on too long, and also just to touch base with some of the things you said, the sales funnel, the know, like, trust, critical. You know, I'm a big believer. I was the head of a networking group, and I would preach that pretty much every week because we know a lot of people, we trust a few people, but it's not until we grow that trust that we can actually do business with them, trust them with our own personal referral base. And you said something else, recognizing people. So one of the things I do through my company blog, through my podcast, through my LinkedIn Live, is try and go to attorneys and say, hey, great article, great, you're a leader in your field. Would you like to come on? Would you like to write an article? You know, it's not an award, but it's a recognition that they are great at what they do, and people do appreciate that. So I guess my question to you is, because if you go into an attorney's office and you swing your elbow, you'll probably hit 3 title companies who are trying to get that guy's business. So attorneys view title companies the way I view an Aflac salesman, and I apologize to anyone here who's an Aflac salesman, but you really don't want to talk to them. So for me as a title company, my question to you, how do you get through the gatekeeper? How do you get that attorney to say, you know what, I want to talk to this guy. I may not be able to do business with this guy, but I'd like to talk to this guy. You know, one of the techniques I use, I had coffee cups made with my logo on it. And I'll send a coffee cup to an attorney and say, hey, let's have a cup of coffee together. Yeah, with a handwritten note. It hasn't worked that well yet, but hey, there's always tomorrow. But what are techniques that I can use that I'm not already using that can help me get past the gatekeeper, that can help me make an attorney say, you know what, I want to talk to this guy. Maybe I can't use this guy, but I'd like to talk to him.
Stuart is a financier. He could be a lawyer, but for this game here, why, Stuart, if you know, I'll get to the mic, I'll get to the stage in a minute. But Stuart, why did you have me here? Because you didn't know me, you found me through Michael. Can you just share, if you can, assuming it's a good story? If it's not good, then don't share it. It's a good story. Why did you invite me here? Why, not me. Why were you watching him online? And you can take the mic.
And thank you for being my one viewer.
Well, why, this came to be for some.
No, it's interesting. I don't know exactly when we first met, but then I had you here for lunch with your wife.
It was a Christmas party. I was invited by Lee Shookman.
Right, who is a great girl.
Yes.
And then every once in a while, I would see Michael on LinkedIn, and I was also impressed that he was very charitable, helping the warriors and the people in service today. He's always on trying to help people, and it just gave me a warm heart. It's not so easy for people like myself to use title guys. I just, if I even try to use a title guy for some reason, everybody's all over me like, you don't do the title work. So about 6 months ago or so, I had a deal with a bank that said, if you want to get this deal done quickly, I suggest you use a title guy. And I called Michael. And it so happened 2 of the lawyers got involved and said, no, you can't use him and everything. So I called Michael right away. And he took care of it. He just called the people, worked it out, and
by the way,
he was just a great guy. And I have to tell you, so it impressed me from a lot of different ways. And then when I saw you on, I said, "Oh my God, this guy, he can really talk." Because I think we do, and especially in finance. I mean, I did a show here a couple of years ago on 1031 exchange, dry and boring. So I think that the energy that you bring to the table is exceptional. I don't think that every motivational speaker is the same, just like everything else. I think that what you do is exceptional, and you light up the crowd, and I'm glad that you're here.
Well, just as a testimonial to Stuart was tenacious in his deal in terms of getting it closed, and that's the highest praise that you can give to somebody who's working on mortgage deals, is that they actually get the deal closed, and he did.
So here's my 2 words of advice to Michael. And Michael, thanks for being here. Thank you, Stuart, for the kind words. 2 things come to mind, and I'm just riffing off of what they're saying. But again, what I've said, as I said already, to everyone here, people can use here. What I've said there, people can use there. We can all learn. But I think that, Michael, 2 things that Stuart said, and I asked him because he's the one who thought and got me here. If I talk too long, I'll start crying. I cry very easily. Very easily. Trust me. So I can feel, when you feel that warmth like in your kneecaps and it goes up, I can feel it. Anyhow, let me just... And then Mariel's like this, and I'm like, I'm going to cry more.
Ramon, let me tell you something. When you get to be 62 like me, that feeling is something different.
Okay, we'll move on there. I love it, Michael. So 2 things I would say. The one, and again, this is not an absolute, but just riffing off what we're talking. Michael, keep using LinkedIn and get better and better and better at it. Maybe invest in a better camera, better studio, because he knows, he's starting off, but he did it. We're here. So maybe that's the way to go, to keep doing that, because more of you are using LinkedIn, correct? Many people who are older, as it were, whatever, we're not using it, but more people are using social media, and for much in this crowd, have you all seen Stuart's TikTok video? He was going, Stuart, y'all saw that? He posted it, never. But my point is, but he is on LinkedIn. Oh, that's all right. They all do that. But my point is, keep using LinkedIn, Michael, and get better and better at it. All these people, you should be in their face all the time. And I'm telling you, LinkedIn or whatever the platform, that's my #1 ticket for success for myself. I work with some of the biggest brands in the world. SAP, Microsoft, Verizon, AT&T. All of them are my clients. All of them are repeat clients. I have a few individuals that I can work with, yes. But all of them are my clients. Repeatedly. And part of it is social media. That's part of what it is, social media. I mean, they can't help but see Ramon. They have to see me. I have people, big global telecommunications company. I'm doing videos where I'm in the park talking about resilience. She's telling her VP about the video. I'm like, dang, you saw that all over me. So I would say that, and 2, keep the charitable stuff you're going. Because that clearly makes a difference to people that matter, meaning who are not your client or whatever the money flow, but meaning people who can refer you. You follow what I mean. Oftentimes, right in this room, if y'all understand what I'm trying to say, it's not so much Ron buying from Robert. Could be. It's not so much that. There's some competition. But it's more so Ron recommending Mariel to Robert. That's how the money, right? Am I right? Y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? It's Mariel knowing, she can't remember the lady's name, but she said something to her, and that lady told her about him, and then he fixed his back. Or whatever. You feel me? So that's my 2 cents. But please shout it out or come up. Please.
Just very quickly.